Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers, and this week's episode is the overview of what happened in April. I cannot believe we're already in May. Where has the year gone? It has been a crazy, eventful year. It has had its ups, it has had its downs, and we're going to talk about all of them today that happened in April. So I'm excited to get started. If you're watching, you see I have written down, do you see how long this list is? A lot happened in April, and I am excited to dive into it. I learned a lot in April of 2023. It was a huge learning and growth month for me, and I know a lot of team members and as a business owner. And then there are some really crazy cool things that happened. So we left off in the last episode when it was just me. It was the big move episode, and we had just closed on our house, and it was a crazy time, an exciting time, and we announced that we're moving upstairs. Well, guess what? We're still not living upstairs. What we thought was only going to be a couple weeks of having to figure it out until we could move in has turned into now a month, and we are still not in there. So fun times, and it's been a very interesting time, to say the least, because we are now living at my parents' house. So until we can move in to the apartment. And so we walk around here and talk about how we are homeless, because we kind of are at the moment. My parents have been so gracious. So if you're listening, thank you for letting us stay with you, because we'd be living in a hotel for the time being if we didn't. But it has taught me a lot too. So in all honesty, because I like to be honest with everyone here, I'm struggling a little bit. It's been a little tough. Actually, not a little tough, really tough, because you go from having your own space and all the amenities, and now we're in a bedroom, the three of us. Riley is sleeping on an air mattress, and she's doing great. She's thriving. She is thriving, but it's a little tough being out of routine, and I've noticed in the last month that I'm not exercising as much as I should. I'm not eating right. I'm living on the convenience store diet a lot of the time, which is, it's delicious, but it's not healthy at all. So that's been a little difficult. And then, just having your own space and trying to live out of a suitcase. And what I've learned, though, and what gets me through, is Riley spending time with her grandparents and each night, and them being so excited to see her. And this is going to be a time that I never forget. And maybe when I think about it, I think about, how hard it was. And, that was such a trying time. But when they think about this time, and when Riley thinks about this time, she's going to remember the time she spent with her grandparents. And they're going to remember the time they spent with their grandchild. And that's what keeps me going, because that's really awesome. And my grandmother, and I know you're listening, old Graham is what Riley calls you. I know you're listening right now, and, she lives there too. And this is just a really exciting time for her to be able to spend time with her great-grandchild, and for Riley to spend time with her great-grandmother. And this is time that they're always going to remember. So that's what gets me through. But that's the update on that. I'm struggling, Riley's thriving, and we're still homeless. So hopefully when I talk to you all at the next update and tell you all the things that happened in May, I'm going to be able to talk about what happened with the move and moving into the apartment. And please, I want to be able to talk to you about that next month. So that's what's going on there. And I'm really excited to give you updates on that next month. And then something really crazy happened on the day that we closed on our house. And I like to announce everything here first. You know that. And so we'll be making an announcement on social media about her soon. But the day we closed on our house, we had a cat show up at the shop, like here at the office, at the shop. Like she just showed up. And we had never seen her before. She just showed up one day, and it happened to be the day we closed on our house. And I'm a firm believer in pets choose you. And literally, I just feel like that happened. Riley named her Ginny with a G, we learned. We were calling her Jenny with a J, and then she quickly put us in our place, and it's Ginny with a G. So she stayed around for a while. And she hasn't left. She's like now the Rogers cat. And a couple weeks into her being here, we noticed she was getting bigger. And we were wondering if it was because she was just eating and we were feeding her. But no. Candy, our warehouse coordinator, she took her to the vet one day and found out that she is pregnant and expecting kittens. So not only did Ginny find us, she brought along mini cats, and she still has not had them yet. So she's getting bigger every day, and we're anticipating the arrival of kittens. So if you're in the market for a kitten and want a kitten, we're going to have kittens. We're not keeping all of the kittens. But now Ginny is part of the Rogers family. So please help us welcome her. If you drive past the shop and you see a cat around, that is Ginny. She is the Rogers cat now. And we are, I guess, thrilled to have her. That was not in the plan, but here we are. And the whole team, plays with her, and she's legit like one of the sweetest cats I've ever been around, and how wild that she just showed up here that day. So we have a cat now, the Rogers cat, and I will hopefully give you an update on the kitten situation next month too. Another thing that happened in April, Joey and I went to a conference in Nashville, Tennessee. Huge opportunity. I had the opportunity to speak at this event. It's for HVAC contractors. It's Service Nation. You've heard me talk about Service Nation. We've had the vice president of Service Nation on the podcast, Jim Hinshaw. Well, I had the pleasure of hosting a breakout session on the power of podcasting. You guys, we haven't even been doing this a year. And because of you, and all of the listeners, all of the watchers, because of Kenny doing his amazing video every week, and Rival Digital for getting it on all the platforms, we are now speaking about podcasting to big audiences that want to start their own podcast, and the power of it and what it's done for Rogers. And I just want to take this time. It was a huge honor for me to be able to present to a group of people that want to start their own podcast or want to know more about it. But I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you every week and just share what's going on here and help you get to know others in the community, help me get to know others in the community, and the constant feedback. So that was really, really humbling for me, and can't believe that I am hosting a breakout session and it's on podcasting, something I always wanted, to start. A podcast, was terrified to do it, and here I am today, still sitting in front of you every week. And it's really amazing for me. So thank you for that. And that was a huge honor. Another thing that I learned from that event, and I want to talk to you guys about the power of networking, because we all go to certain events, we all meet people, we all go places throughout our lives, and we meet really amazing people and people that know a lot and that we want to know more from. I go to these events and I meet people that I look up to, and I can't believe I'm in the room with them. But what do we do after that? What do we do after we meet these people? Do we just say, oh my gosh, I met this amazing person, it was a great conversation, and then you just move on with your life? that's what a lot of us do. And that's a lot of what I've done in the past. It was, oh, that was a great experience. I learned a lot from that person. And then you just move on with your life. And it's so easy to do that. And so my biggest takeaway and my biggest piece of advice for you, and I'll relate it back to work too, and how I use this in my daily life. But when you meet these people, most of the time you're exchanging cards, business cards, and you have their information, and you just have a stack of cards for eternity because you never want to throw them away because maybe one day you want to talk to them, but you're not. So how about you just reach out to them? And something that I've tried to do at all of these events, or if I meet someone very interesting or someone I want to continue a relationship with, I reach out to them that next day. Or when I get back, I make sure that I send an email, a text message, a personal one too, saying, hey, it was so great to meet you yesterday. I really enjoyed talking to you about whatever we talked about, and I can't wait to further the conversation. Here's my contact information. Reach out to me anytime. Very easy, very quick. You can text it, you can email it. You can add them as a friend on Facebook, whatever you want to do, and send them a message. But how personal is that? They're going to remember you because all of the other people they met, they're probably not reaching out to them. And so you're going to stand out to them. And then when you see them again, they're going to remember you. And then you're going to further the relationship and keep peeling those layers of the onion to where you're really starting to form some meaningful relationships with people. So that's something that I learned, and something that can not even on the networking side, but people in your life. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, man, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with this whole living situation and making it all happen. How many others out there are struggling with something right now? There are so many people out there struggling, and my struggle is not even the biggest struggle that others are facing. And it's very small compared to a lot of what people are going through. So one thing I'm trying to do is, if I hear someone mention that they're going through something, or that they've had a moment of weakness, or, you know, they just had a hard day, if I'm thinking about them, I had a team member recently tell me that she was kind of having a hard day and she was kind of struggling a little bit. And it was nothing super major, she was telling me, but I kept thinking about it throughout the entire night when I got home. Thinking about this person. And so I said, you know what? I need to text her because she's on my mind. And I don't always do that because we can think about it, right? But we don't actually do it. And so I texted her and I said, hey, you're on my mind tonight. And I know you said you were struggling. I just want you to know that you're doing a great job. And do you know, she called me crying because she said, Alyssa, you don't understand. At this very moment, I've been very upset all night because I'm trying to figure this all out and I'm trying to do a good job, and I just have the weight of the world on me and I'm just having a hard time. And that text message made my whole night, and it made it all seem worth it because I know that I have a team that supports me. Like, I want to tear up thinking about it because I didn't know that she was having a rough night. I knew she was struggling a little bit with some stuff at work, and was getting, you have hard days at work sometimes. It's not always perfect. And I knew that, but I didn't know she was struggling all night and like taking it, with her throughout the night. And it was that text message that turned it all around. And it's a simple text message. So I just encourage everyone, you don't know what people are going through, and it can just be reaching out to them saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. You're a great person, or you're doing great. That can change the whole course of someone's day, someone's week, someone's month. So that's just one thing I learned, and I've brought that to multiple team members here of, if you have someone that's talking to you and saying that they're struggling, or if they're just doing a good job, let them know they're doing a good job. They don't have to be struggling, but if they're, killing it out there and working hard and working extra hours or whatever they may be doing, let them know that you appreciate them. It goes a long way. So that's one thing that I'm going to continue working on and getting better at is really forming relationships and continuing relationships and letting people know how much I appreciate them, and not just telling them in person, but telling them over text messages, and not assuming that they know that I care about them, letting them know that I care about them. So major learning in April. And then last but not least, we had the coolest employee event last week. You probably saw it on social media, but Kenny is working on a video that we can release very soon to showcase what we did. But we did the Rusty Wallace Racing Experience as our Q2 company event, and it was so cool. It was the coolest thing ever. I mean, if you're not on our team, like, you should really think about being on our team right now, and we have a spot for you, so reach out to me, or, go to callrogers.com/careers to apply, because we do some really fun things here. And I know that, for the Q1 event, we did firewalking, which is freaking fantastic. It was so cool. But the racing event was on another level. We went to South Boston Speedway. We had the Rusty Wallace racing experience. We all got to ride in a late model car, and then we got to drive a late model car. Oh my gosh, I was terrified, you guys. Like, I was so terrified. I was not terrified to ride. I was terrified to drive. And anyone that knows me, and now everyone that's listening is going to know this about me, I do not like to drive. If I win the lottery, the first thing I'm going to do is hire a driver, because I hate driving that much. So putting me in that car, it was very terrifying for me. But watching everyone else in that car was so fantastic. Everyone is talking about wanting to buy a race car now and drive a race car. I think we're gonna have so many Rogers team members that are race car drivers on the side. Maybe one day, anyone out there that wants to help us start a Rogers race team, let me know, because I want to do this so bad. I love the environment of racing. And we've had Peyton Sellers on the podcast, Bruce Anderson, Jeb Burton. I love racing. And I love learning about it, and I love the environment. But it was such a cool event, because what I loved most about the event was, and everyone's going to say something different. If you ask our team, they're all going to say they love driving and they want to be a race car driver. But my favorite thing about the event was watching everyone get in the car, unsure of what it was going to be like, getting out of the car now thinking they're going to be a race car driver for the rest of their life, and trying to find a way to become one. But seeing the conversations after. So we had this pre-meeting where they're telling us everything that we have to do when we're out there. And that was pretty terrifying for me. It was very overwhelming. And so everyone's going into it oh my gosh, can I do this? Is this going to be okay? Am I going to survive this? And seeing that fear, watching them get out of their comfort zone, getting in that car and driving it, and then getting out of the car so excited. And then it's just the talk, the camaraderie after the driving experience, and talking about what they did in this turn, and when they started getting it together, and where they struggled, and where they, went fast. And then some people were going so slow and thought they were going so fast. And it was just the coolest thing to watch. And, we're videoing, people going around the track, and they're like, man, I was going so fast. And then they see the video man, I was going so slow. And it was just the funniest, coolest, most awesome experience with the most awesome team. And I mean, so cool that we don't usually repeat certain events that we do, but I feel like we need to repeat this event. And Kenny's giving me the thumbs up, we have to do this again. I mean, it's still being talked about. So, and then we had the concession stands open. So anyone that's looking for a community event, or a team event, employee event, to bring to your organization, I highly recommend Rusty Wallace Racing Experience. They were super professional, super easy to work with, really great. And then South Boston Speedway was awesome to work with, very easy. And they opened up the concession stands for us. So we had bologna burgers, hot dogs, hamburgers. It was the true South Boston Speedway experience that day. So super awesome. We also had Trent Parker here for the event. He is a famous TikToker. He's going to be on he was on the podcast. He recorded an episode while he was here. So you're going to get to listen to that in a couple weeks. That's super exciting. And I can't wait for you to learn more about him. But that was an honor to have him here. And it was just an all-around awesome day that is going to be remembered forever. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that was just really, really awesome to share with the team that we have. And I'm just proud to have everyone on the team. And it just makes me so excited to do events like this with them. And what I learned is the importance of that, right? We can work every day and we work really hard, but why are we doing it? We're doing it for the greater good of Rogers and to grow Rogers and to make it a huge multi-million-dollar organization. But if you don't take care of the team that helps you do that and accomplish that every day, what are you doing it for, right? And our team means so much to us. And everything they do for us every single day and for the organization and for the community and for their families, it's just, they're just amazing individuals that I'll always put up very high on a pedestal because they deserve to be up there. But coming together like that puts it all into perspective for you too. And doing events and watching every single team member get out of their comfort zone and get in that race car when they have no idea what they're doing. Now they're experts, they think anyway. We're all experts at it now. Like watching them get into that race car and get out of that race car and trust in themselves and have the confidence to get out of their comfort zone means everything to me. And I can't wait to continue the journey with them and can't wait to continue getting them out of their comfort zone so they can achieve the amazing things that they are on this earth to do. And that's what we're here for, is to grow every single individual here. And I really, truly mean it when I say I appreciate everything they do. And I really, truly mean it when I say you should come work here, because it really is an amazing place full of amazing people. So that is what happened in April. Really exciting things, really hard things on the personal front, but we're going to continue plowing through it. And, May is going to be great because May is our kickoff to summer. So it's going to start getting hot here. It's going to start getting crazy here, and that's what we like. So you just let me know what you want to hear in May and what you want us to do. Continue sending your feedback because I love it. Continue coming up to me in public and talking to me about what you want to see, what you want to hear, who you want to hear, because I really appreciate that. And it's so awesome for me to go places and I talk to people and they're like, hey, I listened to the podcast with so-and-so and I really like this, because it really lets me know the kind of content you want. And that's what I'm here to do, is provide the content you want to hear and see. So you just continue giving me the feedback. You continue rating, reviewing, and subscribing. And this is on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all of the things and all the podcast platforms. You just continue being a part of this journey. And I thank you for being a part of this journey because I love doing this. So I will talk to you next week on the Rogers Radio Podcast. See you soon. Bye.